morning. This is McCarra Poetry, number 10. Costello's. What she loved about you was the way you folded the Daily News and set it aside when you looked at her. The 7 and 7 in his hand, and Thurber's comic dogs, still capering on the wall for all eternity, barely held at bay by dowagers made of curlicues, staid witnesses to long-ago afternoons, the ink fresh upon the paper, words still unread. Because you never know. Because you never know what you might find. Keep your bag open to receive those unwitting gifts falling from heaven. Heavy as rocks, weighty as oranges arranged in a pyramid, or, equally, cardboard boxes, squared and brown, at repose in the closet. The accidental words seeping from them like jam from the jar. The stickiness forcing you to contemplate how it was they were strung, one after another, those pearls grafting each to each, phrases awkward as a fall, yet somehow standing on their own. Keys. The only constant, change, the sureness of the seasons we mark off on the calendar, careful in our commemorations of those unmarked dates. Your birthday. The driving rain that stopped our shopping. The first and last speeches graved on the tablets of our memories, dredged back to first freshness by a taste, a smell, a look, the gray color of the sky before snow, the particular groovings in the cut of a key, cold in the hand, the sound of it turning, an echo of others. New Eden. Yes, to be sure, the other side of the fence has attractions. The magazine layout cropping out the compost, the chipping of the brickwork, some less than sightly branches leaning sickly to the ground, the chorus of sparrows waking one from rest, until all appears as a new Eden, the apples hanging rosy on the tree, the sheen of the page, pretty impossibilities, still so pretty to survey. Confectionery. The selection box of sweets, each sweet word of yours coated with high-grade confectionery, laced over with script in darker chocolate, thick with corn syrup and chemicals. The rainbow tints of candied creams, gussied up with red foil and cellophane wrappers. Morse code of chocolates, sweets for the sweet, 100 corny Valentine's Day jokes in sugary reverberation, till the last mouthful is swallowed down. Receipts. Here is the receipt for it all. The paying out, the words spoken, the words written, the stamps licked, the books bought and read, the men loved and lost too, the 100,000 tiny remembrances written down in desk diaries. Today I did, today I went. The shoes for a wedding, christening, burial. Check their heels for signs of wear. The receipt for all consumed, the tea, bread, butter, meat, vegetables. The time, too, consumed in blocks of hours, 8 hours, 2 hours, the commuting hours of rain streaking down the train windows, and the collective sigh when, stalled and darkened, Newspapers rustle in unison. We shall not have this time back. It evaporates as steam from the pot, as if it never were. Hot coffee. It will come to that, and better to face it with force than to take that other line, pale, dreading that telephone call or this encounter. The awkwardness of wooden blocks as I stumble, thick-soled, towards you, a pot of coffee in my hospitable hands. Better so to bite off the matter with a smile. After all the revisions, indecisions, to drive a stake through the heart of the thing, looming large in your mind, no greater than a gnat. Last chances. Grasping with the tips of her fingernails to that last imagined chance, she has the sensation she is floating slightly above the ground. So focused she is on that long-held ideal. The elusive, eluding, winking wolf who passes her in the hallway, nips at her heels, scratches at her door, then, just as suddenly, gone. Missing his warmth, the bulk of him, his eyes, but not his tearing teeth, his scratching nails. And last chances, going the same way as lost prayers, written out and used as a marker in a cookery book. Break room. This day we mark, not so different from all the rest, yet it has candles and cake and plastic goblets of cheap champagne so harsh it burns the throat. The cake a slab of flour, butter, sugar, eggs overlaid with thick white cream, graced with fragile roses crushed by a spork, no forks being available. In the dim dark of the break room, the sad coffee-colored carpet fraying under our feet, and she lifts her glass, yes, before returning to struggle with the copier, thrusting her hands deep into the warmth of the machinery to retrieve the paper folded, fan-like, between the rollers. Blueprints. To find the way out is not so hard, the blueprints having been kept handy by the previous owner. The markings on the wood, beneath the plaster, easily spotted by your X-ray eyes. And what will you do when free? What indeed? His list, marked out in curious characters, is a mystery even to him. The long riddle of his life, a scarf placed this way and that, to ward off the cold from around the corner. Fleetwood Bridge. The road map streaks blue and red, twisted, knotty, the veins I trace with my finger. Were there a global positioning system that could find you, it would be on a bridge over Fleetwood's tracks, casting your eyes over, casting your bread upon the river, where we saw an opossum, swollen-bellied, amble down to take a drink, silvery under the electric light. Later, squinting so at the green, gold, red, heavy-lidded through years of yellow paint, one coat upon another, you gripping the steering wheel as we plot the best route from A to B to C, and finally, oh so finally, to Z and home and rest. But now it is as black as a North Korean night on Google Maps. The last candle snuffed out, and no electric light to be seen. Brights on the bridge at night, a necklace, sparkling, but hot to the touch. They warned one off, the wires too, woven, azure, crimson, grass green, jewel-colored. Touch me, if you dare. garland. Yes, in as many words as that. The forms, filled in triplicate, tucked neatly away. Where? You do not need to know. Perhaps in the dead files, the contracts cancelled by those who cannot fly. And she recalls the file cabinets, row upon row, their metallic ranks, some sticking, some so loose they would bruise your shin and catch upon your stockings. The fine dust from the carbons coats her hands. The telex shudders as the yellow tape, now perforated, chugs the message through to Budapest behind the wall. Received on the other end as she and the other, so junior, assistants reapply blood lipsticks in a 1930s washroom, heavy mirrored. Honey gold color of the furnishings outside, so warm as to suffocate. As the Borden woman swings down the hall, her bronzed offspring, late of some Grecian islands, performing oh so perfunctory filing. And tuneless whistling fills the air, and there's a job, he says, for you in California whenever you want it. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope to be speaking to you again soon. Until then, goodbye, and God bless.